Okay, boys and girls, today what we're going to be doing is we are going to be painting a tint on one side of this paper for a sky during the day, and we're going to be painting a shade on the other side of this paper for a night sky. So if you haven't already done so, you want to write your first name, last name, and room number in the bottom corner on any edge around the paper, first, last, room number. So I'm going to do that really quickly. So that's your homeroom number. I want to flip my paper over then so that I can make sure I'm not going to paint right over top of my name. Okay, I'm also going to fold the paper in half like this. Okay, so that line, that fold is going to show us where we stop painting our tint and then where we're going to stop painting our shade, right? Okay, so everybody is going to be using two brushes. First, let's start on the side that we're going to be painting the tint. Feel free to flip your paper this way if you feel more comfortable, but for this video, I'm going to have mine positioned like this. Okay, so when you are painting a tint, that is a hue. Hue is the color. In this case, for a sky, our hue is going to be blue. And it's any hue plus white. Okay, so a tint is any color plus white, hue plus white. When you are mixing things, you always want to start with the lightest of the two. What's lighter, blue or white? If you said white, you're correct. So I'm going to get some white on my paintbrush here, and I'm going to start painting on my paper. Actually, I'm just kidding. I am going to flip my paper like this because I want you guys to use horizontal brush strokes. So horizontal is right to left, side to side. So I'm going to get some white, and I'm going to do like a thin coating of white across that whole paper. All right, so once I'm done getting some white, I want to be careful not to get any beyond that fold. Got to work quickly. We don't want the paint to dry. I'm going to get just a tiny little bit of blue. Blue is so dark, it's very powerful. Look, it's almost as dark as black. So once I have that blue on there, I am then going to paint right on top of that white. And as I'm painting with those horizontal brush strokes, I am blending the white and the blue together. I am creating my tint for my day sky. So I want to be painting off the edge of my white piece of paper. So that means that I am going to end up getting some paint on this messy piece of poster board underneath my paper. That does not mean, however, that you want to purposefully paint over here, okay? Because other students have to use this poster board, and we don't want it to be super messy for them later. Okay, so I want you guys to notice that I have like a dark streak right here on my paper. If you really like the way that that looks, you can just leave that. It does not have to be completely even. Sometimes there are streaks in the sky, and so if you would like, you know, a darker streak here and there, you can add some more blue. And maybe, you know, it's a little bit darker here, a little bit lighter there. Maybe you want to go back and add a little bit of white because you wanted to make that a little bit lighter in a section too. That's fine. So your hue, which is blue plus white, is a tint. And you started with your lighter of the two, which is always going to be white when you're using it. Right? White is the absence of all colors. It is a non-color. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this for my day sky. So I'm gonna take this, I'm actually just gonna flip my paper right on over, okay? So now I'm gonna start working on my night sky, or a shade of blue. And a shade is any hue, which is blue in this case, any hue plus black, okay? So same deal, you always want to start with the lighter of the two colors. In this case, it's always going to be not black, right? Black is the darkest of all the colors. They say it's the presence of all colors, right? The opposite of white. So we always want to start with the lighter of the two. So for this, for our night sky, we're going to start with blue. You want to set your day sky brush aside, okay? You want to grab your second brush. You want to get some blue on your brush and do the same thing as before, except this time we're starting with our hue, which again, hue means color. You want to paint right up to that fold. Try to make that a straight line right there. If it's not perfectly straight, that's okay. Just do your best. We want to get a pretty even coat. Remember, you have to work pretty quickly because you don't want the paint to dry. If it dries, then it won't blend. All right, so now that I have an even coat of blue, pretty even, you don't want it too thick, no globs of blue on there. You want to take a tiny bit of black. Boys and girls, black is very strong. It is the strongest of all the colors, the darkest of all the colors. So start with a little. If you want to add more, you always can, but you can't take it away once it's on your paper. Now I'm going to start blending that black into the blue. Horizontal brush strokes, going side to side, right to left to right. You may have darker areas, you may have lighter areas. That is up to you. You're the artist. It does not have to be all one shade of blue. If you feel like you want to add a little bit more blue here and there because maybe it's drying a little bit, you may do that. So I'm going to make sure I blend it to where I like it. Don't rub your brush too hard on the paper though and put a hole in the paper. That totally could happen. So, you know, don't feel like real crazy in one spot. Kind of move that brush around evenly. Remember, you are painting off of the edge. There is not a single space on this paper that's gonna be left untouched by paint. Okay, so now I'm done painting my tint or my day sky, my shade or my night sky. So I'm going to very carefully with two hands, and you might have to touch a little bit of the painted part, and that's okay, it's gonna be fine. You're gonna pick it up and you are carefully with two hands gonna walk this to the drying rack.